Hey guys, Cole here. Welcome back to another raid video. I hope you're all having a great day. We have news of the 15x progressive chances that are coming in for your summons Tuesday and Wednesday alongside the CBC. So if you want to get some summons going, this is the time for you to learn which champions are offered. Honestly, it's some really good ones. It's the theme of, I'm trying to get you to spend when you don't have enough shards. Also keep in mind, we are all saving shards for the next coming fusion. We don't know what that is, but eventually we'll learn as content creators and we'll get to share with you some news about that. So using up your resources means you'll have much less for when a fusion comes in, and that might be worth it. So have that in mind, as I said. But if you don't really care and you want to take your chances with a 15x progressive, going in 20, if you don't hit it, 25 if you don't hit it again, and then it's just all about luck, then this one is for you. Let's get started with the champions on offer. Again, these are going on Tuesday and Wednesday, so they change up on Wednesday in terms of the champions offered. So don't go out of your way to summon regardless. Just keep an eye on the actual summoning screen, okay? Let's get started with the champions. It's gonna be, the first one's gonna be Theodor. I feel like Theodor is an MVP for dungeons. Theodor the Savant. The reason for that is his two skills. One of them is the increase in poisons and HP durations on debuffs, and then he actually activates them. This is very strong for the spider dungeon, can be very strong for ice golem and dragon as well. Very useful champion to get those speed rounds going. Multiple Theodors just make things work, so have that in mind. He also can apply poisons himself, so that's why he works so well for ice golem and the dragon. Very solid champion. I would say he was the top legendary in terms of the speedruns when he was first released, so I don't see any reason not to go for this guy if you're somebody who's struggling for spider. But again, the odds are not increased. It's just the 15x progressive for the specific champions. The odds for getting a legendary is not boosted at all. So the next one coming through in terms of getting something going for Hydra, I would say Feral the Backhorn is one you'll keep an eye on. 15x progressive. This guy has a very strong block buffs and decreased accuracy debuff that he can AoE spread, and also ignores resistance, so you don't have to build so much accuracy on this guy for applying your debuff. So block buffs, very strong, decreased accuracy, insanely strong against the head of mischief, makes you much more easier, makes it much easier to basically force the boss to get a resist going. But again, it's all about RNG with that one. He can apply increased resistance on allies, so this combination together with this one right here with the decreased accuracy makes things so much easier in terms of stat requirements for your champions. Then an insane passive which boosts your resistance, boosts your accuracy, and then boosts your damage is making Feral like an MVP for the Hydra, the one area in the game right now where the requirements for resistance, accuracy are both high as well. Damage is also high, so you'll see teams being built with resistance in them, accuracy in every single one of the champions, making things like the Great Hole bonuses and the Live Arena bonuses so much more important. And also the fact that he can apply buffs makes this condition, the 4 or more buffs condition, to be much easier to establish. So having that in mind, Feral is like such a great champion. I would for sure go for this one if I didn't have it. But again, all up to you on how you want to be doing these 15x progressive. It's very RNG heavy. So the next one up is going to be Gwendolen. She was offered through a guaranteed deck of fate type of event months ago. Can't remember exactly when. Might have been a year ago. Regardless of that, Gwendolen is actually a cool attacker. Not the greatest one in terms of her usefulness in arena. You'll see her maybe in some dungeon teams like a Fire Knight team, but by no means you'll see her being in competitive teams for arena. She doesn't have that in her kit, and she does have some good debuffs that she can apply, such as decreased speed and leech. But overall, the way that she works is that she can also get an extra turn when the champion gets extra skills. So this is more so for dungeons where you want to have multiple use of her skills going through and just getting her going. Final one from the normal summons is going to be Sneak Track. Okay, again, very strong with his reflect abilities, and much stronger, I would say, than other reflect champions that we had in the game. Some of them got changed. One of them is War Chief. He can apply a ally protection also to your allies and a decreased speed as an AoE. I wouldn't summon for sure for Sneak Track. I don't feel like he's that much useful compared to the other 4 champions on offer. Then for the Voids, it's going to be Krisk and 2 Hanar offered. So Krisk, why is he the MVP for Lizards? So together with my boy Theodor right here, if you have a combination of lizards that you can put together, you can make a very strong arena team. But Krisk is obviously not just that. He has an amazing passive which applies decreased defense and decreased accuracy on enemies that attack him. Very strong. Ally protection on his A2 plus continuous heal buffs on himself. Provoke, increased defense, increased speed. It's just an insane combo, and then decreased speed as an A1. This guy has been in the game for years now, and he has not fallen in value at all. And now with the addition of Teox in there, you'll actually see teams using Krisk in there intentionally, so he can apply debuffs to help Teox do not only more damage, but also get that block revive through. Such a solid combo when you do see it in arena. And then finally to Hanar. Such a beautiful champion. I love to Hanar. I don't have her, but I've used her multiple times over on takeovers, and I've seen the way that she can apply the block buffs and the decreased attack, can do a debuff spread as well. That makes the block buffs apply so much easier compared to just having a non-void champion try to apply the block buffs because of the weak hits basically. And this can go through the poison cloud that the heads apply in the Hydra. Increased defense, increased speed is also available for her in terms of a boost. And then she also has an insane passive where she can cleanse basically on allies, removing 2 random debuffs when their allies are under continuous heal buffs, and she can apply continuous heal buffs to your allies with the A1. Fantastic champion. I built her with high resistance, high accuracy, relentless, high speed in Hydra, and she works. Very, very solid champion. But again, for voids, I wouldn't say people would be summoning for voids for this specific day. Going into Wednesday, so Wednesday, October 23rd, let's have a look at the champions. One of them is the Asgard Divide, Freya, the Fade Weaver. I do not have her on this account, so Freya is really nice. She can apply block debuffs with a very low cooldown, can also boost turn meter, increase defense, a big shield also to your allies, and she's got an interesting passive with the defense and protecting basically one of your allies from death and giving them the extra turn mechanic. So very strong champion, part of the Asgard Divide. I wouldn't go out of my way again to summon for her. I don't feel like she's that insane to be worth my shards. I mean, she's gonna be entering the normal summoning pool, so if I happen to get her, then sure. Next one up though, it's gonna be Harima, one champion that I've been trying to get for so long. I just love Harima. I just love seeing her use her A3 and A2 abilities against the demon spawn as well. It just makes it so much smoother. Her passive is quite insane, with ignoring defense effects being reduced. Demon spawns cannot inflict critical hits, and also this champion can inflict weak hits on demon spawn, makes her just a menace for so many strong demon spawn champions. It's very strong defensive based nuker. You can also use her in the Hydra. Honestly, I'm considering summoning for her, but I might not because I don't have that many shards saved up, and just honestly the odds of me getting her is so low regardless of being a 15x. So next one up is going to be Martyr. Talk about a champion that is an OG to the game. Martyr is one of the few champions in the game that has a counterattack ability buff. So she applies it on a 3-turn cooldown plus an increased defense. She works well for the Fire Knight dungeon. If you do happen to have issues with the Fire Knight dungeon, she works very well in there. She can apply decreased attack as well, and a provoke can be useful for things such as the Hydra, but I wouldn't say she is an MVP for the Hydra. She just works if you don't have something already. But remember, buffing up all your champions means you'll be the target for the Head of Mischief many times. So if that happens and they spread the counterattack, it's just going to be a messy Hydra fight. So have that in mind. And then the next one up for the normal summons is going to be Bivald. So Bivald is okay, has a very solid provoke. I would say the provoke that he has can be really nice in terms of applying it, because he cannot be a weak hit. Applying it on the Head of Decay, I would build him probably with a provoke set on top of his chance to have a provoke happening with his attacks, just because you want to have consistency with provokes for the Hydra. So Bivald of the Thorn, pretty nice, but again, I wouldn't go out of my way to summon for him. Finally, for Voids, it's going to be Grazer joining in with his insane enemy max health damage abilities, plus provoke that he can do, plus increased resistance, increased defense buffs, can increase the duration of ally buffs, enemy max HP damage, I just love this guy in terms of Hydra. The increased resistance buff is very underrated, but it's very useful because it applies to all your allies. And let's say you have like a 5-star attacker, he already is about 250 resistance if you've been working on your Great Hole bonuses. So 250 resistance plus the increased resist gets him very close to a high amount of resistance for the Hydra. Okay, so having that in mind, you can boost it slowly to the amount where with the increased resistance buff, you would have even your attacker have 450 resistance to be safe from the head of mischief in case something happens. And this guy works very well for that because he's an attacker himself that also applies unkillable himself. Very, very strong. And then finally, my favorite dwarf was part of a fusion back in the day. It was also given not for free, but as part of like some sort of event the Platinum did, and you would actually be able to pick up Torin. Fantastic champion. Works so well right now against Armands. So because Armands like steals Terminator, and this guy can freeze enemies that have their Terminator filled. So you can have that as a way to counter Armands when Armands does not have a stone skin, or when Armands just goes crazy. He can be the one that helps you take down Armands. Himself has a very strong ability to do damage and also can work against things like Taras, plus a revive on death, but much high cooldown, like a really high cooldown. So that's it for today, guys, in terms of the 15x progressive. All of these champions offered are great, okay? Some of them so much better than others. I would say personally that I prefer like Torment or a Grazer in terms of the voids, and from the other champions, of course, Harima. So Wednesday would be the day for me to do summons. Other than that, I'm not going to go out of my way with insane amount of summons. Why is that? The reason is the chances will still be the same at 0.5 for legendaries here and a 6% for sacred. This doesn't change. The 15x is not amazing with champions being added into the game all the time. It just makes it like just horrible way to do these summons, right? It's just RNG, heavy RNG, heavy luck based. So that was it, guys. Thank you all. If you guys are interested in subscribing to the channel, please do so and click the like button on the video. Comment as well on what you think of all of these summoning events. This is part of the normal routine in playing the game, so I don't see it as much of an issue having these events. It just gives you an option to summon whether you want to or not. That's it for today, guys. Thank you all. See you in the next one. See ya.